black hair representation in the media, and what can we do to change it? Let me get some hands up if y'all are ready to see more black hair representation. Okay, all right, yes, that's right, that's right. So this panel is fairly short, but I want to make sure that you understand that we are going to go over to the Powerhouse Pavilion to continue the conversation, okay? So I have some great questions for my amazing panelists, and I'm going to ask that everybody, that we keep the answers to one or two people, and then we're going to go on over to the Powerhouse Pavilion, okay? All right, y'all ready? Okay, so we're going to jump right into it. My first question is going to be, have you ever felt a time where you felt you were treated differently because of your race in the beauty industry?
I'll take that. No. For me, I haven't felt that, but I also understand that it's all about perspective, and certain things can happen in a situation where you feel that it has to do with your race. So I'm not minimizing anybody else's experience, but for me in particular, I haven't had that, but I also walk into a door owning the space. So there's no room, and there's a matter of factness to my presence. There's no room for you to treat me that way. I'm not gonna allow that to happen. So I have fortunately not had that experience. I feel that the person that I am, my blackness, my gayness, my everythingness, is making the doors open for me to walk into them. So I take it with pride, and I own the space.
Awesome, okay. Deshaun or Yancy?
Well, ooh, wow,
Yes,
that was
boom
loud.
that voice, boom it.
Right. Well, for me, it's quite different because I didn't grow up playing with dolls, and I'm definitely not the quote unquote what you would see as a hairstylist. So a lot of times, being 6'5" and being a big old black man, I have to come with showing my 32 teeth a lot, because a lot of times people can get intimidated and or feel attacked by the way I approach them, or whatever the case may be. So, you know, we get in Hollywood, everybody's like 4 foot nothing. So, you know, you gotta kind of mind your manners and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I've been really outspoken about the lack of representation of black hair in the media for many years, whether that is the models and talents you see in front of the screen, but also the hair and makeup artists behind the screen. If we're going to call out how a lot of celebrities don't look their best, we have to ask, is it because, one, there's a lack of black artists who can handle them behind the scenes, or what I like to draw attention to most importantly, a lack of artists who are able to style all textures of hair. So to answer my own question, I have definitely had situations where I felt I was treated differently, given less opportunities, less options. And I want you guys to think about ad campaigns that you see, the models that are used. I want you to think about the celebrity artists that are displayed. I want you to think about when you see makeover shows with hairstylists and makeup artists, how many of them do you see that are diverse and don't all look similarly? Okay.
You know what, to add to that too, I think as an African-American stylist, we're expected to be 150%, where a lot of our peers are 30%, and they still gonna get hired. So we have to come, not only are you showing up, you have to be present, you have to look the part, and you have to know some of everything, you know? And I see a lot of people, they be 80 years old in the union, still trying to do hair, you know, and they just refuse to remove themselves, you know, but hey.
Well, and just to piggyback off that, you know, you brought up the union. I think that's a large part of it as well, too.
Absolutely.
Making sure that the diversity is there for those celebrities that are getting those roles, and they're able to style that character properly. So that's really important. It still hasn't, I haven't felt any, you know, pushback on me in particular, but I do understand that there's a lack of diversity when it comes out to styling in the union.
But you know, we have to kind of tell you the difference between us and Johnny Wright. A lot of times he's a personal, which means you coming in with your talent. You don't have to worry about no PAs, no, you know, somebody meeting you with the clipboard, because you're with the person who needs to be taken care of, you know? So that's some of the difference. You're talking about Michelle Obama and Tamron Hall. Who's checking you?
Ain't nobody checking me, boo.
Okay, jumping back to my questions. Why do you feel there is a lack of representation of black hair and black beauty in the media? Who wants to jump in on that?
You know, I think it's just it's been that way for a very long time, and it's not right. The standards of beauty has always been other, right? And we're starting to see an evolution of that, you know, like with my book, Natural and Curly Hair for Dummies, out now, that I was able to bridge the gap between the knowledge that I have, a professional hairstylist, and the knowledge that you may have as somebody that was born with this hair texture, right? But the thing is the representation is minimal because we haven't really we gotta claim our own space, you know, and I feel like we can't look for them to do it for us. We gotta make it happen for ourselves. Become an author, write your own book, you know, make your own pathway and get people to be in your corner, and you build your brands around that. So that's how I look at it.
Absolutely, so 3 of us on this stage are authors.
Yes.
Johnny, myself, and Deshawn, and I definitely want Deshawn to jump in from the makeup artist perspective. She does a lot of corporate makeup and a lot of photo shoots. How do you feel about the representation of black beauty in the media?
I do feel that there's a lot of opportunities for us, but I do feel that, I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna say the R word, racism. I think it's a lot of that too, because I can do everybody. I can work on everybody. I've trained myself to work on anyone who walks in my chair. And I've also planted nothing but mostly white people all through my site. And for the first 10 years of my career, I hid myself from my own website because I didn't want people to see I was black, because I knew that they were not gonna hire me. With everything that I had, with all the magazine covers I had, with all the celebrities under my belt, they see a black girl on that thing, back in the day, they weren't gonna hire me. And I've been told that too. But nowadays, because of social media, because of all of the Netflix and all of this stuff, there's so much more work. So you don't have to play the game that I played 22 years ago. You don't have to do that. You don't have to also write a book in order for people to hire you. But you do have to jump in and say, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Pay attention to me, I am here. You make sure you make the opportunity by showing up. You make the opportunity by making your reputation one that precedes you before you walk in the room. That's how you do it. You don't have to write books, you don't have to do all this, you just have to do solid work. Have a website, have a website, have a website.
Have a website.
I'm sorry, have a website.
Thanks,
I know
TJ, have a
people love
website.
Instagram, but have a website and promote yourself professionally. Show up professionally. Don't be late. Don't be with an attitude. All of that stuff precedes you before you get to the next job, you see.
Oh, hold on, I'm gonna stop Deshawn because she is the author of Assistant Rules, which means she can teach you how to get hired, and we're gonna go over that in detail at the Powerhouse Pavilion. You see, I had to pull her back. You see, I had to pull Mr. Johnny right back. Yancy, I can't reach you, but we can't give them everything on the panel. Where do we need them to meet us, Yancy?
At the pavilion.
At the Powerhouse Pavilion, okay? That's where we're gonna need you to meet us. And I'm just thinking, Deshawn, you said you had to hide yourself from your website so people wouldn't know you were a black artist and they would judge you by your work. Do you think there may be a correlation between when people email me and talk to me on the phone, I'm Monae, but when I show up, I'm Monique?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. I mean, that happens in, my background was corporate America. So I came from corporate America banking into being a makeup artist. And when I was in corporate America, I'd walk out. I've been talking to these people for years. And then all of a sudden they'd walk out and they go, oh. That, you always get that, oh, you're here? Sean. Oh, I thought you were French. I'm like, no, I'm black. I'm black. It's like a shock to their system that they see me. Same thing with you, I'm sure, they're shocked.
Let me tell you, with a name like Yancy, they don't know who they're gonna walk into.
Okay.
Because they've been the security. You see Yancy and Nancy and Clancy and Yonsei, it's just all types of things.
Yeah.
So
Yes, for Yancey. Okay, so Yancey, I want you to start off for this next question as you are working on the wonderful show Harlem right now. Wonderful show. I really, really enjoy it. My question for you is, if you had the preference, would you prefer to work on a show with a predominantly black cast, or do you feel you would prefer to work with a diverse cast of different ethnicities?
That's a great question. You know, today, regardless if the show is black or not, you're gonna mess with some white people, and and do Caucasian hair. So for me, I prefer being with my brothers and my sisters simply because I know I can elevate them to a whole nother level. I have the experience and know what a prom look is, or what my errors are and stuff like that. So that's definitely very important. And I also feel that a lot of people are given jobs simply because of their Instagram is so popping, but when you see them in person, they can't produce.
Well,
So that's a whole nother thing that we got going
we'll
on
talk
now.
about that over there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll save that for later. Okay.
y'all, we want to make sure your Instagram is right and you can also produce great work. It's not just about a popping page.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, would anybody else like to chime in on their preference for working?
I do. I happen to love to work with everybody. I train myself on everybody. I'm a makeup artist who does hair. I will never insult you people and say I'm a hairstylist. I am not. I am a makeup artist that does hair, okay? And I've trained myself to work on all hair types, okay? I've trained myself to work on all faces, no matter what their ethnicity is. That's what I do. So I like a diverse group of people. I've always liked that. It's very interesting to me. I like to work with my people too, but I also like to work with everybody. It's fun for me. It changes every day. I love it.
Same. Yeah, I want a diverse group of people to work with. When I worked in Chicago, I'm from Chicago, Chi-Town, Chicago, give them a hand.
Got two people.
But the thing is, I worked in Chicago. I was at Freedom Salon, and my Nicole Mangum right there, Oprah Winfrey's hairstylist right there, guys.
Welcome.
But my clientele was 90% black and 10% white in Chicago. But then when I moved to LA and I started working at Frederick High, my clientele went from 90% white to 10% black. And I was fine with both of them. And I like working with, I'm a hairstylist. I want to work with all textures hair. I sought out for myself to learn different hair textures because I am a hairstylist. At the end of the day, money is green. And you want anybody to be able to sit in your chair.
Color? What color?
Green.
Green like your shirt.
Yeah, green like my shirt. So you want to be able to make the money, and it should behoove you to make sure that anybody can sit in your chair and leave with a happy service. That's all that matters to me.
Speaking of money being green, now's a great time to thank WeDad for sponsoring this panel,
yes.
WeDad and IBS. So I have a free workshop for you if you text the word curls, like the curls in my hair, to 33777. I will be doing a giveaway at the end. But back to the program.
Curls at what?
Curls
At
33777. Okay?
Easy.
Okay. What would you like to see done differently in regard to black beauty representation? Jump on in there, Miss Hatcher.
Can you people please just hire people based off of their work? Could you just please do that? I get it that they hire people who they know as well. I get that. I know people and I like to work with people. But I also like to give opportunity to other people, you see. And I think the problem with the industry is very closed. It's very it's only who you know. And I'm not going to let you in if I don't know you. Oh, I don't know you. It has to be more open. It has to give more opportunity to everybody.
Yeah.
And now is a great time to point out so that no one misunderstands. We are not saying hire black hairstylists because they are black. We are not saying only hire black hairstylists and makeup artists to work behind the scenes. All of us have the same point of hire those who can do the job.
And to piggyback off of that, what I would like to see is more education for those who don't understand our textures and more willingness to learn about our textures. That's why I wrote the book, Natural and Curly Hair for Dummies. For those dummies that don't know anything about the hair texture, you can learn it here. But if you learn about the hair texture, there will not be an issue for when those celebrities sit in the chair and you don't know how to work with their hair texture, because then it won't be a strike on the union because everybody can do their hair, right? So education is key. We all know that. I remain a green apple. I would take a class any day. I am not trying to fall off the tree. I want to get the nourishment. Still to this day, I've been in this industry over 33 years, and I still want to learn something new because our industry is forever changing, okay?
Absolutely, absolutely. Great point. So I'm going to tell you guys the questions that we are going to cover at the Powerhouse Pavilion. Those questions are going to be, what are you looking for in an artist when you hire, when you're hiring assistants, when you're hiring people to bring on your sets? And the next one is going to be, what advice do you have for artists who want to work on sets? So when we go down to the Powerhouse Pavilion, those are the questions we're going to answer, but I'm going to open this up for just a few minutes for questions, okay? Let me have Tamara for the mic. Tamara for the mic. Grab this mic, and you can do questions. We're going to bring you a mic, boo. Hold on. He got there first.
Okay. Hi, my name is Sophia Austin. I don't know, Yancey. I've emailed you a million times. I know. A lot of people that know you all, but I am also in the industry as well, and getting jobs in the industry is so hard, just like you said before, because it's all in the people that you know. If they don't know you, they're not bringing you in, and I have a hard time with that because I've been trying to get on, and I think my work is great, and I know everybody think their work is great. But just like you said, I think people who put the work in and they still, like, they don't see you. A lot of people don't want to hire you because you're not in their clique. And I find that a lot.
Can I get Yancey off the hook for 1 second?
No, not saying just only
No,
Yancey.
I'm just teasing. I'm so teasing you, darling.
And I know he's
But, my
busy.
question would be to you before he answers, because he's so sweet, is what are you doing to reach out to Yancey? What have you been trying to show Yancey? What have you been doing to keep up with what Yancey is doing? So those are the questions that I have. It's like, it's cool to reach out, but you have to get people's attention. And sometimes people think like, oh, hi, I'm here is enough. And you have to show people that you understand what he does and that you could help him in some way, shape, or form, not just to hook you up with a gig.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, how are you reaching out to people?
We know the same person, Mosey Singleton.
Yes.
And she also reached out to you, but not only you, a lot of people in the industry that I've been doing and trying to get on, just to be on the team.
You know what I think? Well, I think you started at the right place. You came here.
Right, and that's
you're connected.
I was just walking looking for products, and I saw y'all, and I just walked over here. I was like, oh my God! So
we have to answer a couple more questions, and because you're going to be able to talk to Yancey at the Powerhouse Pavilion. Any other questions?
Just so you all know, the Powerhouse Pavilion is at the back of the 1300 aisle, so you're going just across.
And if I could get my raffle winners, raffle, so we can pick a winner.
Any more questions about anything?
Y'all didn't come here and did not have any questions.
Okay. Hello. No sound. Oh, I don't think it's on. Oh, okay. I wanted to know, what is your...
Her mic is not on.
Working? Wait, 1 second. One second.
We're going to get your
You
question.
go first, and then we'll get to you. Okay.
We're going to get your question. We're going to make sure we ask it. She just has to lift it up. Just lift it up. Just lift it up.
Lift it up. Like this. Like this.
That's on.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Hi, my name is Paula, and I'm a hairstylist in Atlanta, and I specialize in short hair. And in the industry, I see people in movies, black women in movies and TV shows, and very few of them are wearing their own hair, whether it be wigs, whatever. So what is the likelihood, other than somebody like Tamron Hall who wears short hair, what's the likelihood of somebody like me who specializes in only real short hair ever being able to break into the industry.
Okay.
Because I never
Can I
see
take
a
that?
black woman rarely without a wig or a weave on television.
Okay, so understand something about television and film. They're playing a character. That character is designed by a whole production of people, and how that character looks is a part of that. So I understand you like, I want more short hair, but what I have to say about it is specialize in everything. Specialize in everything, and that way your door is open for you. You can do anything.
But why do you think that is that black women have to be represented with long hair or a
Do they
wig?
have to
Okay, I'm gonna jump
But
in
that's
for
the
that.
way that's the way they seem to be presented on television and in film.
May I answer?
Yes.
I'm in agreement with you that there's always a wig, a weave, or something fake. Here's the reason why. Y'all see how we sitting up here on this stage? It's only been 20 minutes. The sweat is waiting to jump up off me. Real hair does not keep up with that. So it's also a really basic reason for why even the short hair is fake, for continuity, so it can look exactly the same day in and day out while they're shooting for 18 hours a day over the course of weeks, months, or years for your enjoyment, pleasure, and you look at it and you think it's one day. So I understand that that is your specialty, but we all had to make some form of concession to get to where we are. And I feel you. I look at here and I see the same thing, but where are you going to change to get to where you want to be?
But you know something, and also too, to add to that, we also use that too because it's going to take care of the integrity of their hair. Imagine getting a wrapping curl every single day.
Every day. With
Like
all
their hair be
after
burned
lunch.
out. And let's not forget about women who just can't keep their hair from day to day, who are not the girls who are gonna do the kickstand and be up all night and not let their hair hit the pillow. So it's a thing for caring for their hair as well, because overall it's just a better thing.
This is the reason why I incorporated wigs and weave with the First Lady, because I knew that there was no way I was gonna keep her hair on her head. As busy as she was the first term, we were beating it up every day. I was literally putting heat on her hair every day, right? And the only way you can preserve her hair is to not touch it, okay? So I had to convince her. Prior to that, she had never worn a weave before in her life. She'd never worn a wig before in her life. And it took me 6 months into the first year to convince her that we're gonna have to do this and stop using relaxers, right? So I stopped using, nothing wrong with relaxers. I'm not beating anybody up, but I understood what I had and what I was dealing with. And my sole purpose for being in that White House was for her to leave with her edges. And she did. Because we know how hard that is when you're doing sew-ins and you're doing wigs and you're snatching it back, all those things. I wanted to make sure she left with her edges. So I had to incorporate wigs and weave into the process of it to preserve her hair. Her hair is extremely long now because of that, and her edges are intact, period.
Okay, I want to sneak in. I think I can only do one last, because she looked distracted. We're going to get one more question, and then I'm going to do the raffle.
I just wanted to know, what tips do you have for breaking into the union?
Oh my God, that is such a wonderful question.
I think we need to save that. We need to save that.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
I was going to answer you, but see what the panel
No, it's
said.
a lot. It's a lot.
I was ready to answer you, bro.
I'll say the number one thing is you got to get more production work. That's the number one thing
And
you
you
have to
better
do.
bring it on down to the Powerhouse
Yeah.
Pavilion to learn more. Okay, so we that.